Helps if you have a little bit of audio, maybe. Do I have audio? I think I have audio. There's the audio. Somebody said. Good to see everybody. How is everybody? What is going on? Thank you for joining in right around the holidays. I mean, I know most of you could be out there shopping. Probably not at this hour, but nonetheless. Why is this so low? Anyways. Good to see everybody. Let's see. Ryan West, good to see you. Wow, this is really bothering me. Need to, Anyways. Well, it usually doesn't move. See, Ryan, good to see you. Brandon, good to see you. Good morning. Joe Swick, good to see you. Mr. White, good to see you. Shanbot, Nelson, Wayne, Matt, Laramie, Victor, Flint, Fireforge, Harrigan, morning. Blake, good morning. Or in your case, evening, early morning, late night. I always skip Blake's time zone messed up. I don't know why. Ryan, good to see you. Fraser, good to see you. Tad. Aaron, morning. Eileen, morning. Eileen's here early. Eileen has got a different schedule now, apparently. Good morning, everybody. Good to see everybody. Thanks for joining. I really appreciate it. If you've just first tuned into this to be fiasco, I'm Sean. My name's Sean, and I like RPGs. My name's Simon, and I like drawing. We'll go over some stuff. I got a lot of news-ish stuff this fine recording. If you come in late, what schedule? We're talking the kids to their mom today, so got to get going early. Indeed. Shoot, I forgot to put in the question of the day. Let me see if I can manage to do that without screwing anything up. And I didn't. Blake, I know you gave me one, but I don't have. I guess I could pull it up in the Discord. I don't know if it's as good as the last one you brought up. Just my humble opinion, Blake. Not that you could be responsible for coming out with what we call in the biz bangers every time. But let me see. That's a long one. Okay, I'm gonna. This is a kind of like a hey. Have you ever done it? I'll use it. Unless somebody's got one off the top of their head that they've been dying for us to pose to everybody. Every once in a while, we get a good crowdsourced one. Blake's Bangers, not to be mistaken for Bangers and Mash. Anybody have one before I put Blake's up there? I'm trying to just spread the love, I guess. It is the end of the year-ish. I feel as though some of the things that are at the top of my mind as far as RPGs goes as it refers to the question of the day always seems like I'm stating the same one every other month or something along those lines. Don't Google that. Yeah, don't Google that. Might see Blake in a precarious position, if you will. If Ryan is sick, get better, Ryan. You should be getting rest. What are you doing here? Do I see more lighted studio? You do. It was always so black, so I put in some lighting. Oh, and then these two. Yeah, those two have been there for a while if you're referring to those. I just never turn them on. This one, the one that is pseudo neon, it's really not neon, it's LCD, but that one, like if I had a camera a real crappy camera, that thing would flicker really bad, and it would like no bueno. So, when was the Holy Roman Empire named? That when it wasn't Holy Roman or an empire. Discuss. Holy Roman Empire. Neither an empire nor holy. Discuss. Who is that from Saturday Night Live? I don't remember. Yes, Blake is always ahead of us, at least chronologically. Right. So he is going into tomorrow's morning? Like super late? No. Yeah, because I know Nubis is usually 7 hours behind or ahead. Michael Myers coffee talk. That's right. Flint knows the deal. Flint, Fireforge. Neither a fire or a forge. Discuss. It's 12:30 a.m. That's what I thought. The 22nd. Just went into the 22nd. He's coming to us from the future. All right, you guys aren't much help right now about the question of the day. Fraser, so tempting. I do need I need one of those walls of clocks like an old newsreel. Yeah, shit like I do. That's a good point. I should get one for the Australia time zone as well as Nubis is in. I always mix up his place. I think he's Slovenia. We've had some people from the UK show up. The UK show up. All right, we'll just do it. We're just going to get into it. Enough messing around, all right? So Blake wants to know, have you ever run a sequel or a prequel? So, hey, Game Masters, if you're only a player and you're tuning in, Blake has, basically is disregarding your input. So, Game Masters, have you ever run a sequel or prequel RPG series to an RPG series you already ran? So, if you run an arc and then ran a sequel or prequel to that. Morning, Orcus. Dorcas, good to see you. How you doing? A prequel. Then he goes on. Was it the same system or different? Did it stink, work, or rock? Would you try it again? Right? So I know it's early. Multi-part questions can be tough. I get it. The struggle is real. Have you ever done a prequel? We'll just leave it at that. Have you ever done a prequel or sequel to like a scenario that you've run or a mini arc campaign that you've run? I think the prequel is a good one. The only problem with prequels, I actually offered this to Harrigan, who's in the chat, for Delta Green, because he played in Impossible Landscapes. He played in Impossible Landscapes scenario Delta Green. That is it spans a set of time, like 10 years, like 10-year time span. And then I ran another scenario that took part prior to that campaign, and I asked him if he wanted to play his character from Impossible Landscapes. And his response was no, because, what if the character dies in the prequel? How does that work from Impossible Landscapes? Plus, he probably wanted to play a different character. And I'm speaking on Harrigan because, well, I have the microphone, so. But that's the tricky thing with prequels, right? Like, if you do a prequel, well, then you probably, for continuity-wise, you're gonna survive, right? So that would be the only sequels we do probably the most. But even then, do we call them a sequel if you've run a campaign arc and then just ran another scenario after it? Unless you move the timeline, maybe. All right, Fraser's as a good sport. Homebrew campaign as a sequel to a homebrew campaign. In case you didn't understand that, that's your internet. A homebrew campaign as a sequel to a homebrew campaign. Yes, it did work. Damn chat moves around. It did work, but the genre was different, although the system was the same. Ooh, I am intrigued. Ryan says, yes, I have. Same system, Pathfinder First Edition. It was all right. I feel like there's not a lot of meat in some of these answers. I mean, good answers, but it's like, I need to know more about now I'm getting curious, right? Like, tell me more, but we don't, there's just limited amount of characters. Flint says, it is considered a sequel if the first adventure ended in a TPK. Is it? He poses a question. Is it considered a sequel if the first adventure ended in a TPK and the new characters ran into the dead bodies of their old characters? I would allow that. I would say yes. Does that frame up your answer then? Philly Phil from not Philly. D&D 3.5. D&D 3.5. Ran a campaign for a couple years. Players were 11th level. TPK occurred. Fast forwarded the timeline 20 years, focused on the consequences of their party's death in world. It was great. That's fantastic. Harrigan says, it's a good thing I didn't do that. That's true. That's true. You would have somehow lived, I imagine. Delta Green can do strange things. Otherwise, we would have created an alternate timeline. Well, right. Yes, and Wayne says, I have run a sequel to a setting. Does that count? I have a Japan-inspired fantasy setting called Edge that I advanced hundreds of years. I think so, for the most part, right? I think so. Shambot says, I've, by request by the players, run follow-ups and one prequel for WEG Star Wars. Okay, first of all, bonus for WEG Star Wars. I don't know if you guys knew that. You could get bonus points for things like that. So, Reading Aid says, good morning. I'm doing a sequel for Delta Green. Most excellent. You already have my attention. Bonus points for Delta Green. Thanks for pandering to me. No, I know you're not. This freaking microphone. All right, maybe that's better. I feel like I'm very much over here too. I'm feeling off today. Oh, I think I might be switching up my drink. Hello, Sean. Focus. Reading Aid says, I'm going to doing a sequel for Delta Green Convergence. Ran Last Things Last for a group first. All right, follow along, folks. He ran, the title of the scenario is Last Things Last, but he ran that scenario first. I'm explaining it out loud slowly so that I understand it, actually. It's not for you guys, because you guys are bright. Everyone survived LTL except one dude. Sorry, dude, you're dead. But he probably found the rug. Eileen says, I've done sequels with play-by-post games long time ago. All right. Brandon Barnes. I've done prequel characters, largely unrelated games, but I had a bard with a sentient weapon. Oh, those are always fun. I had a backstory for the weapon. Another game I played, the person whose spirit inhabited the sword. Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that. Fraser, for me, the system was one I was playtesting. The first campaign as a post-apocalypse that turned out to be the result of an alien invasion. Sequel was Space Pirates. Flint says, yes, then I have run a sequel. All right. Mr. White says, so if you died in the prequel, right, that's exactly right? In Delta Green, you never die. You really don't. Like even your agent, Mr. White, is he really dead? Wayne says, RE, what is going on here? Oh, that's interesting. Wayne says, regarding Edge, it was fun. I had the players who played in the OG setting. We used the microscope since we all knew the setting basics to advance the timeline. He's going back to his Edge Japanese-inspired campaign. Brandon says, oh, I played in a campaign that was a sequel to one I wasn't part of. D&D 2E was the original system. Went on some 20 years, then Pathfinder for the game I played in. Ah, I see. So it started out in 2nd edition, and then it continued, and then they turned it into Pathfinder. Got it. You could use Jacob's Ladder occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge. Jacob's Ladder I haven't seen in 30 years. Yeah, I don't know if I could handle it. I don't know if I could handle it back then. Oh, and he continues. You could use a Jacob's Ladder or occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge ending. Ryan says it's weird. It is weird that WEG Star Wars is probably my favorite TTRPG, but I don't like the new Star Wars series / movies. It's, people certainly have opinions. Nelson. Played in horror on the Orient Express. Partway through, we played an arc with different characters from the distant past using Dark Ages rule set. It was odd. Not sure I'd recommend. Confusing. Yeah, sounds like that could borderline on the bait and switch, right? Hey, we're playing Horror on the Orient Express, Call of Cthulhu, 7th edition. First of all, we're going to go back 10, 20 years, and we're going to use a different game. Ryan, your character gurgles and dies and wakes up in an asylum and was all a terrible nightmare. Hey, dude, spoilers, all right? Do a spoiler alert next time, Ryan. Orcus Dorcas, does it count as a prequel if the scenario starts in media res? Wow. Pulling all kinds of weird scenarios out. Way to go, Orcus. Harrigan says, I would play Agent Maya after she escaped the asylum we left her in. Sean. Oh, okay. Yeah, I suppose. Jacob's Ladder is one of my favorite movies. It's pretty intense, though. Indeed. Morning, William Thorpe. Good to see you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, folks. Spoilers. Yeah. Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate it. Always good to have it come from the audience, because I just feel begging could be just, I don't know. Morning, RPG Gen Exile. The question of the day, if you're just starting, is have you ever run a sequel or prequel series to an RPG that was already run? And then how'd it go? Was it the same system or different? Did it work? Stink? Would you try it again? So right now, Delta Green, I'll answer my question, or that question, the question of the day. Delta Green, I'm really in an effort to try to map out some of the major releases, and I think I've mentioned this before, about mapping out the briefing time or dates of each published scenario. Because then I could potentially run a ongoing kind of living Delta Green campaign and have different players and different agents come in. And then the timeline I could keep consistent, right? And I think the biggest, coolest part is bringing in things from different scenarios. But it's got to kind of align with the timeline, or does it? But that's one thing I want to do. So I have run a sequel, I guess. Impossible Landscapes is inherently a sequel, I would say, because it speeds up the timeline 10 years. So I would consider it all as part of one, even though it's one campaign, I guess. Because if you're doing a prequel or a sequel, it's kind of the same characters. It would be the same campaign, right? Right. That's what, hence the sequel or prequel, right? Andy Hall, good to see you. Welcome, D4 or Vanilla Coke. Hey, thanks, Andy. Appreciate it. Now I got to change it because I think I may change my beverage. I know. I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know, Superman without a cape, something like that. It's a pretty bad analogy. But I'm kind of hooked on the Liquid Death. If you haven't had Liquid Death, I like the lime a little bit. I've dabbled in a few other flavors. But if I drink these, they're going to be better. These are 19 ounces. So cost-wise, I'd have to do some analysis. But I think it's a little bit either the same price or cheaper, and it's water-ish. Like it's 20 calories. Like, Sean, if it's water, how can it be 20 calories? Well, there's, agave nectar, citric acid, and natural flavors apparently in a can. So I think I might start converting over. And my sugar calories and derived from sugar, or I say sugar because of its fructose garbage. So, hey, just saying. It doesn't give me the kick, but I don't know if I need it all the time. It's better for me. Otherwise, I'm on the road to diabetes. Just saying. I don't like it subscribed 2 weeks ago and got a $30 bill this week. How did Sean get my address? Well, I warned you. I have friends in interesting places. And there's a fan. Hey, Liquid Death, if you would like to sponsor me, I would be, I'd be open to discussing. Laramie says, it did just occur to me that Jesus and Scott are running a 3-parter at CheapCon. And it is Jesus because I've met him. That's how he pronounces his name. At CheapCon. Microscope leading into a quiet year and then played out in Cypher System. Okay, all right. The Armless Palmer. I haven't tried the teas yet. I'm gotta be careful. This will spin into Liquid Death promo. So Harrigan's answer to the question is no. Wow. I could feel Harrigan's tone. No, I have not, Sean. And there are reasons. I see so much stuff about Microscope. Need to check that out. I would agree. Ben Robbins. Say hi to Sell Ben Robbins. Sean sent you. He won't give you any discount. He'll probably increase the price. Orca says, only thing I could think of is in high school, running Tantris, the sequel to Shadowdark, but we never finished it. I think it was because we thought it sucked, but that was a year or two ago. What? Only thing I can think of is in high school, and that was only a year or two ago. You're fooling nobody, Orcus. I'm just saying. If you're trying in that little paragraph to tell me that high school was a year or two ago, no. All right. Thanks, Blake, for supplying the question of the day. I appreciate it. Thanks to everybody for participating. I appreciate it. Appreciate you. Let's get into RPG news, shall we? I think. Press the right button. It was worth a try, he says. Oh, my thing isn't working now. Maybe it only works on certain... Oh, I know. It only works on certain scenes. Okay. Okay, last one. William's squeezing one in. We almost did one in college, but one of our players left for a semester, so we didn't do the middle section, which would have been different characters. Got it. Okay. Print news. Let's do this. Or RPG news. We got a few things that I want to put out there. We'll start at the bottom of the list. That is not my screen. What is going on today, man? A little hiccup here, a little hiccup there. Nothing too crazy. I'm like, why is... Oh, I see what the problemo is. Let's just do this. This'll be better. I don't know why it's... Why? There we go. All right. Yes, I will accept your cookies. Thanks, European Union. Free to download Batman Gotham City Chronicles RPG Quick Start. Has anybody downloaded this thing yet? Anybody download this thing? They reported it back in 2020. French board game company Monolith landed the Batman RPG license. So now you can download. It's 47 pages. I think this has been out there a little while. This was posted on Geek Native just as of the 15th. So, yeah, I suppose almost a week ago. It offers simplified rules and a free adventure. That's a risk because if the simplified rules don't impress gamers, that disappointment might harm sales of the yet-to-be-released RPG. Interesting Batman. So you could play Batman, Catwoman. No, Batman, maybe Catwoman. And what other good guys? Robin? I got your Apple products right here, buddy. Okay, anybody download this thing? The PDF and a French edition were added to drive-thru on the 13th of December 2024. Today is December 21st, 2024, this live stream. Author credits include Nicolas Texier, Olivier Chiara, Francois Verstre, Francois Stricher, Alex Nikolavich. That is not French. And Xavier Fournier. Monolith has not used DTRPG system to disclose whether any AI was used in the creation of the game. Which, well, I don't know. There you go. Anyways, with DC coming out, right? Robin, Nightwing. Isn't Robin and Nightwing the same? I guess it just depends on what version of Robin we're talking about, right? Commissioner Gordon. Okay, fine. So that's it, right? What's the reporter's name? Oracle? What's the report? Vicky, what's her name? Dude, I'm so comic book, not comic book. All right, next one. Vicky Vale. That's right. Vicky Vale. Two different spellings. Laramie and Ryan, I want you guys to throw down to determine how Vicky's first name is spelled. Sean, can you play Batman, Catwoman, Thor, Tintin, Garfield? Or he's saying you can. You can play Batman, Catwoman, Catwomen, not woman. Thor, Tintin, Garfield? Sure. Philip Reed. The gentleman who is involved heavily in the Steve Jackson games. I think I backed a couple of his crowdfunding campaigns. He's a monster. He puts out, I think he's putting out a crowdfunding campaign once a month at least, and they're good. I recommend at least checking them out. They're not for every campaign is not probably for everybody. It's very DM heavy. It gives you reference cards and quick things to use. They're usually a 5K type of crowdfunding campaign. So Anyways, good stuff, quality work. And so I bring this up because I never knew of the Whispering Vault. You guys know about this RPG? It's one of those. It's been around, or it was around, originally published in 1993 by Mike Neistel. Then it moved to Chris Pramis' Green Ronin, right? Chris Pramis is the head of Green Ronin, or Ronin, Green Ronin Publishing. And then it went in 2003 to Ronin Arts. And Ronin Arts is a company by Philip J. Reed and Christopher Shy. So Philip just re-released The Whispering Vault, which you can get on drive-thru for 10 bones. 10 bones US. Bones is the US currency. In the game, characters are stalkers, supernatural entities who generate bodies for specific missions to hunt down and capture would-be renegade gods. The Whispering Vault was first published in 1993 with a trigger warning and something akin to safety tools, which might be useful the next time you're debating how RPGs have changed in recent years. Right? The more you know. That's why another reason I wanted to put it out there. It's like, oh, when we talk about modern game design, what is modern game design? You know, were there, like, not everything that was made in the 80s or 90s wasn't forward thinking. It was probably a little less rare than it is today, but I enjoyed Birds of Prey. Oh, one of Philip's products. I would grab this. Whispering Vault is a weird and cool game from the 90s. So did you know about it, Orcus, from that era? Think Cult. So this is he continues. Think Cult / Delta Green / Over the Edge, and you play as Cenobites. Oh, Birds of Prey is still on the Batman topic. Good enough. The Whispering Vault. So I thought that was cool. It's a little, good to know. We're nerds. Keep up, Sean. Ugh, getting too old to keep up. Get off my lawn. Humph. So yeah. Make it a comeback. Only 30 years later. 30 years in the making. Oh, I'm logged in as myself? What am I doing here? Dude, what am I doing? Oh, well. At least I could do it. I'm logged in myself today. It's not the worst thing that could happen during this live stream. All right. I feel my identity has been divulged. Moving on. No, this, no, that, no. Oh, how about this one? Lumply Games. If you're not familiar with Lumply Games, you are, and you probably just don't know it. It's Apocalypse World. Vincent Baker and McGay Baker, Baker's company. So they're putting together Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven's Ars Magica. Playtesting begins. So I was like, oh, Ars Magica, or Magica, I guess. So I don't know, tomato. And it is, right? They're using the Ars Magica open license to do this. So Vincent's been doing RPGs. McGay has been doing RPGs for quite some time. If you are not familiar with their names, they did come up with Apocalypse World and was very open to saying, yeah, if you want to use the core mechanic, go ahead. I don't care. That's fine. Knock yourself out. So they, powered by the apocalypse, comes from those two. So there you go. This is coming out. So if you haven't seen Roger Corman's 1963 film, The Raven, starring Vincent Price, Peter Lorre, and Boris Karloff, this will be a little harder to explain. So if you've seen it, you're probably like, oh, okay. Talk about wizards, duels, the tone of the game. So if you are interested in downloading the playtest, this is where you can go to check it out. And I'm not in that space, the Ars Magica space, so I don't know how prevalent community or how prevalent derivative works are for that game. Community or using the license, if you will. So I don't even know as much about Ars Magica, actually. Maybe I should pick, hopefully it'll be, I should have picked up a bundle. I don't know if there was one, and I don't remember if I kicked in for it. I should have. Must be played in Technicolor in reference to the Raven. Now in Technicolor. So there you go. Check out that if you would be so, if you are interested. Next one, I'm going to give Wolfgang Bauer some kudos. So Wolfie, as I affectionately refer to him as, is the head of Kobold Press. And he put out the numbers in the state of Kobold Press. And we've talked about or brought up on stream, like Wizards of the Coast being publicly traded. You can find out like their revenue and, you know, their trends and how much profit or revenue has been generated quarter to quarter on their quarterly earnings calls and things like that, where before they really didn't, although they don't talk about the amount of, you know, books sold or anything like that when it comes to D&Ds. And then we talk about like, well, during 4th edition time, Pathfinder like was the most prominent RPG out there. And then Chris Sims comes in and says, look, I was around. We far and outsold Pathfinder, just so you know. But so I say all that because Wolfgang goes into like pretty much detail, like, hey, this is kind of what we did. He talks about some of the money they've made and the revenue and how it's down quite a bit, mainly in a nutshell contributing to some really big Kickstarters in 2023 that did really well for them, like 1.1 million, I think he states. And then in 2024, not so much. So he didn't have to. It's none of our business, honestly. So I applaud him for doing that and putting the company and some transparency out there in the public. I don't think it's not alarming. I don't think he doesn't take it as like, okay, like, I guess it's better than he doesn't go in to doing a YouTube video or series where he walks out onto a warehouse floor and after he shit cans 50 people and tries to motivate his existing staff in a strange and awkward way on YouTube. One of the things he talks about is, so here's just in a nutshell quick, total revenue from Kickstarter in 2024. So I got this wrong, so I'm glad I read this. Total revenue from Kickstarter in 2024 was about 1.1 million, a drop of 52% from 2023 and on par with 2022. So looking back at 2023 was the year of our two largest Kickstarters ever, which is Tales of the Valiant at 1.15 million and Deep Magic at 860K. It's hard to repeat that kind of success every year. So he says at the same time, Kickstarter revenue is the backbone of the company and it makes up roughly 45% of yearly revenue. So somebody, Wayne Peacock in the chat, we just met up on Thursday because we game, and Wayne went to PAX and he just said that Kickstarter had a huge presence at PAX. Well, it's because, I think I've mentioned this before, I think a lot of the revenue that's generated on Kickstarter is from tabletop role-playing games. Like I heard it's a big chunk of their business. So good to see Kickstarter at an RPG con, right? Like might want to be near the people that are kicking you money. So he does go into like like what I so reading it says, yeah, tariff fears are real. Sounds like it happens. It will end some small publishers. Yeah. So he does say that. Um, he says the company coffers are still in good shape for all 2025 projects. And note that all funds raised by Kickstarter are held in escrow and paid out to create the project. We never used a new project to fund the prior one. Smart. Not borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. That's good business sense. Wolfgang knows the deal. This guy is not. This isn't his first rodeo. He's probably seen some stuff, man. To put it in perspective, 2023 was a banner year. Happy to have been able to hire staff, experiment with new projects, fund charitable work, and sponsorships in 2024 based on that banner year. Now we're returning to our long-term trend. The holiday numbers are strong. Did I mention we sold out of the Game Master's Guide? And we've got a 20% off sale on some of our best right here. He continues he says, post-holiday blues, Cobalt Press has printed most of its printed most of their books in China for years, and their last U.S. hardcover printer left the country in 2023. So the incoming administration here in the U.S. has promised to raise tariffs by 10% on goods imported from China. So as good gamers, we're looking for alternatives and loopholes, but it looks like current events are going to affect our costs going forward. I don't like it, but I don't have any control over it. We're in touch with printers outside China, but most of those are even more expensive. So, man, so tariffs, yay. Like, hey, that's, I think a lot of people are going to be like, I voted because that's what we were going to do. Tariffs, right? Tariffs, yeah. Until all of a sudden our RPG books are $80 because of the printers. Yeah, great. Yeah, I'll get to it, Ryan. Relax, buddy. Jeez, calm down. Calm down. This guy. He's like, when are you there to come in? So thanks, Wolfgang and the folks at Cobalt Press for putting themselves out there. Very much appreciated. Going back to the chat. I think the big difference in 2023, they launched Black Flag, and by the time it materialized, the hype was pretty flat. I don't know. So I believe Sean is saying go watch the Wormwood videos for what not to do. Yeah, I would say that would be safe. And then he doubled down. I don't know if you guys saw it on Wormwood. It's such a, dude, RPG hobby. Some of it is like interesting drama, and some of it is just like terrible drama. Wormwood is, I don't know. I don't know what it is. But he went out and said, all these people commenting don't know business, and they're just not true, and all. It's just, I'm like, I don't think anybody. I'm like, I commented, I go, I don't know if it's the same video I watched, because I don't think we were complaining on like business sense. Like, if your profit's not there, you got to make adjustments to save the business. And sometimes that involves laying off people, and around the holidays, it sucks. I don't like a lot of the comments that I read some of them were like, oh my God, you're laying off your staff in December, right around the holidays. Look, if we just moved Christmas, it wouldn't be around the holidays. It would still be in December at the end of the year. But I digress. Yes, it's terrible. Yes, it sucks. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be unsympathetic, but it was his delivery that I think was the issue. Like, that was the awkward part. Anyways, Mr. White says, I backed Tales of the Valiant, and by the time I got it, I had no intention of ever reading it, much less run it. Oh, boy. I've had those. Nelson says, anecdotally, lots of people saying they've been cutting down on Kickstarters. I've cut to almost zero. Man, just wait till it's out. Just wait till it's out. If they want somebody to get in on, I think, this is just me, if there's going to be those that always want to get in on the it's the pre-order, right? Because they're excited, and that's great. But I guess, like to Nelson's point, I think 2025, man, a lot of us, I don't know, just speculating here, are going to wait. They're going to wait. As long as it's not a Kickstarter or crowdfunding exclusive, like you can only get this game through this campaign, or they're offering stretch awards, rewards, whatever, stretch goals. And you won't be able to get those after the crowdfunding. But I don't know if those things are waning on us, because some of those things delay delivery. Like, well, we can't send out the product because we're waiting on our stretch goals to be done. Like, so there's a trade-off there. I don't know if there's been a stretch goal in a crowdfunding campaign that is like forefront of my mind right now as I speak, that I was like, oh, I'm so glad that I got in on that crowdfunding campaign, because if I hadn't, I would have never gotten X, Y, and Z. I mean, I might have them and I think they might be great, but really it's like, that's nice. I really just wanted the book. So I'm going to speak on behalf of everybody when I say Wayne says they love the drama. It's the real lives of RPG furniture. It's Orange County Choppers. That's their. Hey, you know what we could do? We could put out a YouTube series like of all the inner workings of our company and all the strife and everything. And people will love it. It'll be cool. It's transparent. Everybody know where Orange County Choppers is? I saw a video, not to get on that tangent, I saw a video of a guy who went to their headquarters in New York, and it's now like somebody else bought the building, and there's like very few remnants of that. I mean, they had. It's interesting because you go there, their headquarters, and it was like, here's where the shop was. They had a restaurant, and it's in Orange County. Like it's just, and it's not even there. It's ghost town. Anyways, so let's see. Moving on. Keep her moving. Monthly game state of the state. I meant to mention this last week, but I didn't. The Goody Awards from Goodman Games. I actually tuned into this live briefly when they were doing it. So they get on. So they used to apparently do this like in a hotel. I don't know if it was at Gen Con. They would just like, we should like recognize certain people that we think that do awesome stuff for us specifically, right? Goodman Games. And so they went on live stream with, let's see who, there was a few. Joseph Goodman was part of the stream. Joseph doesn't put himself out there too often. He's at conventions, but he doesn't stream every week or anything. So he was on there. Jen Brinkman, Michael Curtis, a few others. I apologize for not throwing out there. But they do this once a year, and it's it's a good, fun, positive thing, right? So they mention them here. I won't go through each one. I don't know if everybody knows. Some folks may know some of these individuals personally, or I've gamed with them. And then they talk about the nominees and give credit where credit is due. And then, like, out of the bunch, Bruce Cunnington, if you don't know who Bruce is, he's over in the UK. He's come to Gary Con and has run events at BSRCon. So Bruce was part of that. Bob Brinkman is Jen's husband. Bob is part of that as well, and is manned the booth at Gamehole Con. So if you went to the DCC booth when you came to Gamehole Con, you might have run into Bob. Some of these I recognize as names, but I haven't like met them or interacted with them. So anyways, Jim Sketch, he was at Gamehole Con. He's got a company that is selling a RPG product, like these kind of sticky, like it's like 2-dimensional, right? You get like a grid, and then it's almost like static, right? Static stickers, and but it's like terrain, right? You could take these walls and just kind of put them down on this thing, and then when you move the mat, they don't fall off or anything, and you can pick them up. So Jim, I can't remember the company that he's part of, but Jim Scatch was recognized, so I know Jim, and then there's a few others. So here, congratulations to all the nominees of the Goodie Awards, and of course the award winners. Ryan says Goodman has a pretty great community, folks. Indeed, they do. Once again, Goodman shows its humanity. Yep, Jen is awesome. Got to game with her a few years back. We had Jen on Gaming and BS, if you guys don't remember, and it was a multi-parter because I think we talked to her for like 2 hours. When Brett and I first really kind of came around with DCC, we brought her on as kind of the subject matter expert. And at that time, she was part of Spellburn podcast. And we ended up like getting into the DCC rulebook. I don't think we're in there now because they had so many reprintings. But yeah, they put us, so somebody brought it out and pointed out at it. But yeah, they're just fantastic. I can't say enough about them as far as the community goes. And they are, some of them are pretty diehard DCC folks. But keep in mind, Goodman Games also does other things. Like they do 5e stuff too, right? Anyways, so congratulations to them. Always setting the example, which I think is awesome. I wanted to give credit to those folks. Moving. All right. Julian Haley, yeah, Julian Haley was on there. Yep. Love that guy. Jules is the best. There you go. See? Paizo plans Starfinder RPG 2E Galaxy Guide in 3 versions. So Starfinder RPG 2nd edition's coming in 2025. They have images of the covers. So there's a special edition fall leather and metallic deboss cover elements and a bound-in ribbon. So it looks like the leather one's going to be $80 US. The other ones are going to be $60. Street date is May 7th. So if you are a Starfinder person, here's some of that's the limited edition. Galaxy Guide font is interesting. Not for me, but I'm sure a lot of people out there might really appreciate Starfinder and have a good time. And there you go. It's all good. So just thought to throw that out there. Thanks, ICV2. And let's see. So I thought this one was interesting. This is from Rascal. This is just a little bit of like RPG history because, I mean, there's the dungeons and what is it? The the big anthology of all the RPGs that have been published. Shoot. Can't remember the damn anthology name. Oh, is it? You like reading it? You like Starfinder 2E? Okay. The Brazilian fans keeping the Street Fighter TTRPG alive. First, I didn't know that there was a Street Fighter RPG. Secondly, I didn't realize that there was one and it was published out of Brazil. This is a good expose. If you have, you're probably not going to be able to read the whole thing, but if you contribute to Rascal, you could see the whole thing. One of the individuals that is involved with kind of keeping it alive now is out of the UK. And I think he's one of the few native English speakers that's involved. The rest are all Brazilian based. But it talks about like, you know, Street Fighter was one of the biggest video game franchises of all time. But in the 90s, it was a fighting game that through visceral sound and saturated color made players feel every punch, every kick, every glorious combo. And Steve Week, former CEO of White Wolf, who was playing the game at a convenience store, right in the quarters, during breaks from working on another little game called Mage the Ascension, he knew it didn't make much sense and it didn't really fit in with his company's product line, but nevertheless, he persuaded them to reach out to Capcom and get the license. So he got the license to do the RPG, and then it came out in 1994, and it wasn't a hit. But they did it, I think, in Brazil in these kind of magazine formats because it was cheaper. And they said it was like in this article, they go into it where it was like you could pick up one of these magazines for like equivalent to $1. They said it's not a great rule. Like the playability and the rules just aren't great. And they admit it, like guiltily so. But I didn't know this like little tidbit of gaming history and Street Fighter actually. So it's not even available on drive-thru or anything. There is a fanzine, I think, that's still going, that's creeping up on their 50th issue. So Souza is the individual that's been Eric Souza in Campo Grande, a town in southern Brazil, has been keeping this thing alive. But yeah, one person mentioned like, what would this character be doing if they weren't fighting? Right? Like Jin Lee, I think, is one of the major characters. What would she be doing if she wasn't fighting? So there's components of that. But yeah, there you go. It's interesting. Orcus, you got any of that? White Wolf published one back in the day. Same one? It is, yes. And then it stopped at White Wolf, but I think it continued in Brazil. And the gentleman in England, the only native English speaker involved, I think is trying to do a translation of a lot of these magazines. So he's using, he's probably using the same AI, and he's also running it by the team in Brazil to make sure that the translation is accurate. So they listen to that. Orcus Dorcas says it was a White Wolf run. Go listen to Mega Dumb Cast to get a hilarious breakdown of the games. Well, that's good to know. There you go. Check it out, folks. Oh, here we go. Wayne says, I love crazy shit like this. Yeah, you should. I don't know if you've subscribed to Rascal. I think it costs $1 and you can get pretty much access to the whole site. It's a good read. Really good read. Got a few good comments too. RPG, set your calendar. RPG Day 2025 is June 21st. As that creeps up, I'm sure it'll hit the radar and bring it to the attention of everybody here. And they already have Meet Our 2025 publishing partners coming soon. So it's not, they don't even have them there. So there it is, underway. Not too soon. Probably takes a while to coordinate, get all the product, set your calendars. There you go. Next, continuing on, Eon World. Here we go, folks. We brought it up on one stream, like most anticipated RPGs of 2025. If your game is not on here, then somebody or you didn't nominate them. The Smurfs are on here, just so you know. I'm not going to name all of them. It's a hefty list, right? Some notable ones, I'll say. 13th Age, 2nd edition. Excuse me. Alien Evolved. Ars Magica. Ashes. Ashes Without Number. To complement your Without Number, your RPG collection Without Number. That's probably more apropos, right? RPG collection Without Number. What else? Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere. So that big Kickstarter or crowdfunder. Let's see. Cohor's Cthulhu. Modiphius must be doing a new version, right? Conan. The Hyborian Age from Monolith. Coriolis, The Great Dark. I'm waiting on that one. That one's at the top of my list. Daggerheart from Darrington Press. Dolmenwood, obviously, is a big one. Draw Steel is a big one. I say a big one as in, like, popularity-wise. Your circles may vary. Heroes of Might and Magic by Modiphius. right? The port of the old computer game to an RPG. Let's see, Chaosium's on there. Mythic Bastion Land from Chris McDowell before Into the Odd. Monty Python's RPG. Osric 3.0, which I didn't even know that was coming. Did you guys know? Get on that, Osric. Let's see. Starfinder 2E. Terry Pratchett's Discworld. The Between by the Gauntlet. So everybody's like, I could see. I see what where this guy aligns. Right? Totally. What else? Some of these are supplements too. Like they say, the Expanse Transport Union Edition, right? Is that I don't know if that's like just another version of the Expanse RPG by Green Ronin, or if it's like supplement. So I'm not really going over the supplements. Laundry 2E by Cubicle 7, we mentioned. Smurfs. Trail of Cthulhu 2nd edition. Voltron's on here. Word Heroes of Public Access. And I'm sure there's other, like some of these are definitely well known depending on the circles you run in, but those are some of even some of the bigger Kickstarters. So you can go over and vote. You get to vote up to 3. And the voting ends January 2nd, 2025. I know we all have our probably top 3 pretty quickly. 2025 mothership, it's coming. Hey Ryan, it's coming. Hold on to your hats. Looking forward to 13th Age. Not a fan of the new Conan so far. The QS quick start and the rules just seemed a little bland. Word Heroes of Public Access, Ryan West. That's like the Expanse 2E, I believe. Reading aid tried to correct me or clarify things. Yeah, probably that makes sense. Alien 2E was on there. I didn't mention it, but it is on there. To me, that's not. I mean, that could be on the top of your. It could certainly be on the top of your list. I just thought I don't know if it's like gonna move the needle enough for me to want to buy it. Dolmenwood's probably up there for me. I can tell you this, probably gonna be Dolmenwood, since I am actually waiting on it. Coriolis for sure. DC-20 is also coming out. DC-20 was a big one, right? From the YouTuber Dungeon Coach. And then I think the last one for me would Gloomhaven's on there. I would say there's an Outgunned Adventure from Two Little Mice. That might be one, but it's off my radar. The Between was kind of cool. I was kind of interested in that, but I'm not. I don't know if PBTA based. I don't know if the Between is PBTA. Most of the Gauntlet stuff is, and it's just kind of like, or it's a modified one, and I'm like, I'm kind of on the fence. Maybe the Smurfs. Urban Shadows is on there too. 2nd edition. That's a big one. I didn't mention that one. Weird Heroes of Public Access. Maybe. I don't know. The third one's kind of a stretch. Like the top 2 obviously are no-brainers for this guy. For me. Right. Karen 2E is coming out as well. But you guys can go in and weigh your own. Tales of Argosa. It's not on there. You didn't submit it. Hobbs. What the heck, man? It's not on there. Sorry, dude. Steve Gradzicki, where were you? Dolmenwood, number 1. Ryan West says, I'll probably pick up Dolmenwood. I didn't back it. That's okay. It'll be out. Just want the Pendragon and Cthulhu by Gaslight Game Master Guide before the end of 2025. I'd be happy. Wish Free League would have worked on 2Es for some of their other older games that need some TLC. Agreed. Let's Forbidden Lands, I would say, stands out in that. I didn't even know what we were talking about. Shocker. Rewind it, dude. Yeah, you can rewind the stream. Rascal puts this out. Gamma now accepting nominations for Power Retail Awards, which I'm surprised this didn't show up on ICV2, because I think, isn't ICV2 part of Gamma? I don't know. There's some kind of partnership there. Anyways, I don't know. Game Manufacturers Association is pleased to announce that nominations are now open for the Power Retail Awards, a program designed to celebrate and recognize outstanding achievements in the tabletop gaming retail sector. Now open for brick-and-mortar games stores and cafes around the world. Some of the categories: Retailer of the Year, recognizing stores that excel in advocacy, media engagement, record-breaking achievements, and overall impact on the industry. I think there's probably like 2. Just kidding. Hey, just kidding, FLGSs. Just kidding. I love you guys. Just kidding. You're all fantastic. Just, hey, empty your garbages. Don't, like, print off pieces of paper and just stick them up there with tape. Yeah, make the place look good. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. Innovation in games retail, honoring creative advancements that enhance the in-store experience and redefine traditional retail practices. Very nice. Outstanding contribution to the games industry. Hey, giving back. Celebrating businesses, owners, staff, and customers who use their passion and expertise to elevate the industry. A lot of feel-good awards here. A lot of feel-good awards. Outstanding store design, acknowledging physical store space that inspire and represent the hobby at its finest through aspirational and innovation design. Wayne in the chat mentioned he stopped by the Runehammer store in Philadelphia. If you ever get to that area, Runehammer opened up his own store there. Awards and recognition. Winners of the Power Retail Awards will receive a commemorative plaque, 1 year of Gamma membership, promotion across digital platforms of Gammas, recognition during Origins Awards ceremony, $1,000 for the best overall retailer, $500 for winners in each of the 3 additional categories. Nominations close January 12th, 2025. So if you got a good FLGS, hey, there you go. Right? Right on point. Right, Wayne? I would expect nothing less. What are you guys even talking about? Make sure to nominate Wormwood. Love to and all. The Hobbsy. Games and Stuff in Glen Burnie, Maryland gets my vote. Should make a list of endorsed FLGSs. So when we travel, we can be like, see if there's one in my area. Oh, it's like there's an officially endorsed one here. Listed criteria-wise. Must not have overflowing garbage cans. You know, the chairs must match and not look like they were all bought from a garage sale. What's this guy like? Doesn't he know it's hard to come off? Like, FLGSs aren't easy, you know. They take a lot of money to run. Like, you gotta do what you gotta do, and sometimes you have to get tables and chairs from garage sales. All right. That's it for RPG news. Like one category, all those things. They just didn't fit into print or crowdfunding or bundles or anything like that. Well, thanks for being a sport, Ryan, for allowing me to imitate you. Let's print news. Let's get into print news. Print news. My God. Print news. Whoosh. Print news. Got a couple ones. Couple. Two of them. Two or three. Modifius got this email. If you subscribe to Modifius, you get the same email. Don't lie to me. I know you did. It's in your spam. Check it. I did not know this Doom Song. Did we bring up Doom Song before? Maybe we did. I don't know. I don't remember. It's now available. The dead walk free. Put them back in the ground. Available now. The brand new TTRPG from the twisted creative minds at Caesar Inc. invites you to partake in roleplay macabre. I did bring this up. I think it was crowdfunded, right? Excuse me. Or it was coming. Set in a world filled with medieval horror and on the cusp of biblical apocalypse, players will find themselves navigating a land poised between two extremes. The ecclesiarchies, justice and order on one side, and the silken allure of heresy and power on the other. Easy to learn and full of evocative lore and illustrations, 300-page Doom Song Core Rulebook PDF. Contains everything you need. And then Triangle Agency, there's a little buzz on the Discord about that. I think somebody's running. I think Kristen's running that for BSRCon 4 in January. So I wanted to highlight those two. Doom Song especially, since that's out. And Modifius looks like it's going to be distributing it, maybe. Speaking of Modifius, did anyone order the Black Friday sale and haven't received their order yet? I have not ordered from them, but I find Black Friday sales in the RPG hobby to, yikes, not be a great experience for this dude. Oh, and I'll put this link in there too. This is like another link that was featured on Bleeding Cool about Doom Song. And then, of course, as always, we hit up the N world. Tales of Yggdrasil from Mongoose Publishing. That's out, $45. Next one, Shadowrun, Tarnished Star, Runner Resource Book by Catalyst Games for $50. The Parthenogenesis of Hungry Hollow, and then the Maul Remastered. I remember those, I think, were both crowdfunded. Something strange is happening in Hungry Hollow, seemingly centered around the upcoming birth of its newest resident in the Parthenogenesis of Hungry Hollow. The PCs dive into the town, make acquaintances with its inhabitants, and unravel the horrid, that's a good word, right? Horrible and morbid truth that lies buzzing just beneath the surface. The sandbox adventure features 8 custom archetypes for players to use when creating their investigator, 6 investigation kit loadouts. The Maul is a wet, gooey, practical effects filled adventure set in in a mall pulled out of time and space. Take John Carpenter's I always love this. I always love these. Like, hey, it's this and that. Take John Carpenter's The Thing and set the action in a 1990s mall. Whoa, yeah. The mall's denizens, including the PCs, are trapped inside with a creature preparing to assimilate and imitate its victims until no one is left. I think it would be better if it was on a cruise ship. Yeah, cruise ship. Anyways, moving on. When in Rome, The Will of the Forest, and Penumbra Oasis Part 1 by The Last Bay Studio. All 3 of these zines, $16 each. There you go. Grab them. One is for Mothership. I think, right? One is for Mothership, and I don't know what the other ones are for. Are they all for Mothership? I don't know. It doesn't say. Oh, Mothership, The Lost Bay, and Vaults of Varen. Michael, good to see you. next week's question of the day. How did you use Horbid in a sentence this week? I like it. Write that down. Lastly, Nebula Chaos, hardcover or softcover by Polyhedra Games, $40 and $30 US. Oh, it isn't the last one. I apologize. I lied. I lied to you. I've broken our trust. The last one, being truthful on this one, Acquired Taste Limited Dice and Tray Accessory Pack for Vampire the Masquerade and Luna's Fury Limited Dice and Tray Accessory Pack for Werewolf the Apocalypse by Renegade Game Studios. There you go. Talking Modifius, Black Friday sales in the chat. All right. Oops. Crowdfunding. From Ian World, go check them out. Corpus Arcana, Blood Magic brought. So these are campaigns that are ending around from December 26th and New Year's Day. So you know. And again, reminder, this one's being recorded and streamed on the 21st of December. In December. D&D 5th edition, that's Corpus Arcana. That's fully funded. Like what 5th edition crowdfunding campaign is not? Korg. If I had a child, I'm going to name him Korg. $30 zine, 13K of a 10K goal. The system is Korg. Scars of Silvos. Next one, Dungeons of the Two Rings. Two Kings. What a weird font. Two Kings, a dungeon delve adventure from Dungeoneers Guild Games. Created for the advanced first edition of the classic fantasy role-playing game. Oh, right. 6K of a 1K goal. 44-page OSR adventure. Levels 3 to 6. Next one, Charlie Foxtrot for Savage Worlds. 23rd century games. It's actually 23rd century productions. Not to be confused with 21st century boy. Know the reference, folks. Savage Worlds Adventure Edition. That's funded. 5K of a 1,000K goal. The Chronicles of Oz. From J. Everett Nickel. Based on Kern and Brighter Worlds. Core rulebook, $40. It's not looking like, well, good fun. It's got 5 days to go and only needs $371. So it's right on the cusp. It needs that end kick. You want a game in the whimsical world of Oz? The Lost Chronicles of Oz offers an all ages TTRPG version of the setting adjudicated with rules derived from Kern and the Brighter Worlds SRD. I think you just have to follow the yellow brick road, if I'm not mistaken, right? So is that a railroad? It's not a railroad, it's a yellow brick road. But it's kind of like a railroad. Korg Horbid. Write that down. Moving on. Populated Hexes Monthly Issue 41 from Third Kingdom Games, OSE, or BX RPG Zine. Do I have your attention now? $240. Booyah! $100 goal. Crushed it. Good on them. Good on Third Kingdom Games. It's better than the second or fourth Kingdom Games, I'll always say. Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road. Well, if I was traveling home, I had my hand in my hair roll. I got my home. Yeah, that's right. Hey, hashtag nailed it. This is why you watch. Dude, indeed. Yellow Brick Road's a trap. Todd from Third Kingdom is a good guy, says Reading Aid. That should be on his crowdfunding campaigns. Todd from Third Kingdom is a good guy. Reading Aid. There you go, Harrigan from nowhere. Harrigan's listening into another room and his computer is like in the basement. He probably had to run down and type on the keyboard. Type that in there. From Bad Religion, my friends. Karaoke at the next game, hold con. Oh, I don't know about that. Goodbye, Yellow. Like, that's the only thing he can understand. Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road, where the outhouse is in the back. Must be in the hedgerow. Yeah. I need to release an album. Anyways, moving forward. None of it would be original work. Sepulchra of Dusk. Revised edition for Shadowdark. What? Shadowdark? Like what? What? $2,000 of a $600 goal. Revised version of Shadowdark RPG introductory adventure. The plot involves diving into a burial mound. That was the last one. There you go. Thanks, Egg Embry. What guy's got the kick-ass name of Egg? I love people with cool names. Egg. That is worthy of cool. So, like, if Egg lives in California in the summer, does he become Fried Egg Embry? Yes. This is our son Korg and our daughter Vanilla Diet Coke. Don't drink diet. Are you out of your mind? Yes, we are bad parents. Well, that's why we didn't have kids. Sean's version of is if it was written and sung by a band from Appalachia. No. Crying for an intervention. You could release a cover album, Renegades by Rage Against the Machine, Emotive by A Perfect Circle, and Undercover by Motorhead. All great albums. Well, there you go. See? There's potential. I just want to... Oh, I got to kick Orcus quick. I got to delete that comment. Yeah. Wait until I sing Tiny Dancer. Tony Danza. Thus concludes my stream. Our stream. It's our stream. Thank you all for being here. I very much appreciate it. Thank you for participating and yeah, that's what else can I say? Thank you for all these fine folks for opening their wallet, putting it in the collection plate every month. Very much appreciated. Thank you so much. You could have spent that on Frappuccino Mocha, double decaf, espresso, double shot with half whip, but you chose not to. And for that, suck it, Starbucks. If you haven't liked or subscribed, what are you doing? I mean, seriously. Come on. It's going to be the holidays here for most of us in the next few days, next week. I will be streaming next week. The last like I posted on the community part of YouTube. I thought this was like the last Saturday of the year. It's not, because Sean doesn't know our calendar days and all that good stuff. But next week, Saturday, will be the last stream of the year ever. So what should we do? Should open it up to ideas. I'll start a thread somewhere on the Discord for ideas for the last stream of 2024. What should we talk about? Do we want to keep doing the same thing, or should there be? See, I don't have dyslexia. I have like speaking lexia. Like, is that a condition where you like mix up your words in a sentence as you speak? You put them in a different order? That's me. Ryan says, have a safe and wonderful holiday. All right, I will. If I'm here and you're here, isn't it our stream? Dude, Spicoli, yes, indeed. Little pizza on our time. Merry Christmas. Have a good week. Thus concludes my stream. That's what I say every time I finish using the restroom. Indeed. Eileen, happy holidays. Be safe. Don't forget to thaw the turkey. It's a message Eileen is spreading here and throughout. And I'm thinking that it might have a personal meaning to her, like maybe personally reminding her. Suck it, Starbucks meme coming to the Discord. Best of 2024 list? Maybe. We could do that. Best of 2024. Might have to do some homework. Last stream, easy. Sean takes karaoke requests. Uh-oh. Yikes. How did you use use Orbit in a sense? Have a great couple of days off. If you're able to. I'm working like, I have 2 days off. I have the holy day, the Lord our Jesus Christ day, the birth of our Lord. I have that day off. And then the next day to recuperate from the birth of our Lord. Birthday. Sean sings his greatest hits. Hold me close now, Tony Danza. I am down on the highway. It's called Old Age. I have it too. Victor White. Where you been all my life? Happy holidays, Harrigan. May have been to a few family holidays where the turkey almost or did get forgotten. Yeah, you can't just thaw those out at the last minute, can you? That's probably the best advice all year. Have a great holiday. Thanks, Orcus Dorcas. All right. I'll let you guys go. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Be a positive force in the tabletop RPG hobby. Take some time to yourself. Spend time with ones that you love and appreciate. And play some games during the holidays. You know what? Introduce the family. Drunk uncle, hey, bring him up to the table. He wants to talk politics? Hey, tell him it's a game about politics and he can convey all that material into the role-playing game, right? Like, it'll be good. I'll talk to you later. See you on the next one. Ciao.